Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another day of Overwatch. It is your host Eric Culver, joined with Grand Yeoman Peter, probably
Yo.
Peter. We've got a banger match on the lines today, from everything I've heard.
We do, honestly. I think it's going to be the highest rated opponent that UHart is going to be going up against so far throughout this NACE season. And as you can see, everybody's raring to go. We're already inside of the match. 10 seconds to start here. We don't have a lot of time to do the name game, so we might do it in between the next one. But honestly, it looks pretty even based off names and a little lopsided, maybe based off of SR, but based on heart, University has it.
Who would you take, Rimuru or Orimaru?
I would take Orimoru. In the 1v1 name game matchup, probably go with Orimoru.
And
a little bit more syllables.
Oh god, their numbers are all over the place.
Absolutely. As you see Hartford come out on the teleporter strategy, going straight to point with the Reinhardt against a Monkey and a Reaper. That's going to be a lot of forward pressure on side of the Rhine, but that shield is going to go down immediately, especially with the Symmetra on the side of UHart. Taking really good space here in the middle.
A bit of note, the University of Hartford, Boston University is opting to run the Winston Reaper comp that was notably seen all throughout the Overwatch League Grand Finals. Every team was running that, as well as just the majority of the fall season for the University of Hartford as well. Jeff, though, just finding picks with those railguns, and Super Vader unable to really do too much as he's just shielding, trying to live as long as he can on this objective.
And this shield dance can only go on for so long as he finally gets edged out of the point after losing so many, but the teleport comes back, and that's incredibly well timed to get their man out. Not going to do a lot because they still have to wait for a couple spawns here as Revan also goes down. But the University of Hartford is going to have to commit a lot more to these ideas that they're making. You see Super Vader looking around those corners, going for subtle flanks, but not finishing off any targets. Once they start to do those, this comp is really going to come together. But in this matchup against the Winston, that slow neutral is going to be really painful for them. These are two different styles of Brawl. This is Brawl versus Rush. They got to see which one is, see if they allow BU to sustain, out-sustain them.
Yeah, as you mentioned, the key for the University of Hartford is just going to be them closing the distance fast and just running over them. If they can't do that, the Sojourn is just going to find just an insane amount of value.
And you saw
and the Death Blossom on top of a variety of ults, actually, is the Rush, the Kitsune Rush, and the Primal Rage were also invested on top of the Death Blossom from BU.
So a slight advantage for the side of UHart here coming into this fight, but we definitely do see the prevalence of this comp. The Winston just slowing them down a little bit just by providing that extra little bit of space control when it comes to the tank, but also that Sojourn one ability that E just gets them right through, and it seems like UHart's going to be setting up for a fake TP, then going right real quick. They're going to have to go faster through this choke here.
This fight for BU is really going to come down to the overclock. Jeff has it online, another monstrous slow field. Oh, they find two, or maybe even three, with the Shatter. The beat from No One Cares comes out to save their whole life. Nearly gets Ajax Blackout, but keeps himself alive with the Sound Barrier. High Noon from Become Base finds one, finds a second immediately after. Clean shot on the Cassidy. And now just a few remaining targets. Become Base fragging so hard right now. Kiriko, the lone survivor. Oh, there we go. It's Become Base. Cleans up, and nobody's able to touch. They take the first of hopefully many fights in this series.
And I mean, the question for me though is why does Become Base have to come and clean up so heavily after fights? I mean, that engagement there was really, really solid, but losing the Reinhardt so early requires your DPS to do that. And are they going to be able to do that a couple fights back to back to back? This Cassidy can be incredibly strong, especially in the hands of Become Base. Let's see if they keep it up here as they've given up a lot of space. They're holding the backside of point here.
As Super Vader finds one through the Baptiste Amplification Matrix with the Fire Strike, finds a second onto the Winston, Become Base takes out the Reaper, and only a few players remain as they clean up, and Jeff goes for the tactical reset.
A little bit of a 3-burst there by the end by Revan 1982. Honestly, that's a much better look for the University of Hartford. As you can see, trading off these fights where it's not just one person dominating every single fight or being the key to actual victory. Beautiful Fire Strike by Super Vader to start that off, in the University of Hartford bringing up to 50%.
It's going to be back in the first It's going to be critical for this next fight that Hartford builds the ultimates before the fight is over. As we see, the Become Base is right there, but the rush is coming in. The Sound Barrier for Blackout is going to be vital. We see High Noon pulled. Doesn't see much of anything yet, but just zoning this space. Sound barrier still being held by Blackout. Doesn't get used. Super Vader falls because of it. Great boot by Blackout. Takes out Rimuru. And now it's just a Winston going primal rage. Maybe gonna find this kill on the Kiriko. Would be critical. Still able to survive as Jeff pops the overclock. And that is gonna be the end of the first objective, going in favor of Boston University.
Yeah, the University of Hartford finding a little bit of struggle when it came to holding space there. They gave up so many as that fight progressed. They were pushed back into a situation in which they had to either face a Blossom to get through into point or stay off point and lose the map as a whole. The University of Hartford really is not controlling space when it comes to their whole team comp, unless they start off fights really strong like we saw with that second to last fight with that Fire Strike window combination. Maybe the tank swap here is going to help out a little bit with the transformations, allowing a cleaner transition between your poke phase and your brawl phase. But I think that this poke phase, especially in that brawl that we just saw, was lasting way too long for the University of Hartford.
Now, a bit of a compositional change from both sides, actually. BU going to be rolling out on the same composition that Hartford played during round number 1, as Hartford opts to switch to the Tracer and Ramacha combo. Oh, and Rimuru gets taken out immediately. What an unfortunate start. And it looks like Hartford just decides, you know what, let's play safe. We don't want to get killed without, any purpose. And they just concede the space. Urgency going aggressive on this flank. And just TP's out.
We see aggressive supports like that get a lot of purchase. We're going to have to see the University of Hartford have to unlock those 4th and 5th members as they do get really aggressive here. This advantage into Courtyard, but they get pushed back slightly by this Reinhardt. However, they continue to have all 5 members alive. This is going to be really good. They do have a flank when it comes to the Tracer, but Cumbase is able to find the Rein.
And now Super Vader has the big form available, hoping to just go crazy, but he's getting chunked down by the Symmetra. This is potentially dangerous. Revan just doing his best to keep him alive. This Symmetra is a menace. Oh my lord.
Wow, and while this Symmetra was being a menace on the front line, absolutely capitalizing on just killing the core of University of Hartford, their Kiriko also got 2 kills in the middle of that. That is that handoff mechanic between your really, really solid supports being able to put down that damage, as well as your Symmetra just holding a Ryan and 2 others at bay, as Urgency gets another one.
Unfortunate from Rimuru getting hit by the just sometimes random Kiriko kunais. But, something to be mindful of as the Tracer going up against a Kiriko. Random death is still death.
As we see a really solid neutral game here to prevent the University of Hartford from getting really aggressive, but we see them all go around coast as everybody's following in suit. The pulse goes out, but I believe the beat came off in time. Blackout able to kill the Ryan. The Cumbase going down. University of Hartford giving up this space potentially?
Looks like they still have a few people alive, but Rimuru gets taken out again, this time by the Symmetra. Blackout finds a kill. Just gonna do everything he can to keep his tank alive.
He's gonna even beat him and move him forward as the Cassidy finally pulls the high noon. He kills the tank. That's a brutal loss of space control. Oh, and Rimuru is able to find on the Revan as well. And this is 90%. The University of Hartford has been staggering for so long.
And this is probably just gonna be the end of round 1. I can't see Super Vader hitting the 1v5 without much extra tools.
He does get the Suzu for a second, but the beat is going to come out, and that's J3 just absolutely murdering every single despondent responder to this last point action on the side of University of Hartford. And that's going to be BU going up 1-0 against the University of Hartford in pretty clean fashion, too. That was a pretty even-handed 2-0. Both maps, the University of Hartford only clambering for a little bit of purchase on that point. Only able to get up about 50% on that first one, and then none on the second. But play of the game difference. I take back everything I said.
This was clean. I remember specking this. That headshot onto the Reaper was absolutely nuts.
It was like, it's like the video game equivalent of Michael Jackson like hitting the slide or like the lean forward. It was very clean. Yeah. I like that.
Now, I have an important question for you.
Ooh,
I believe I heard this come out of your mouth during this match.
Mm-hmm.
The bottom player on BU, you see that name.
Yes.
How did you pronounce it?
J3.
Jathreef. Interesting. Interesting. All right. While we're on the topic of names, run down the name game.
Well, the name game is very interesting. Can we also just get a look at all the spectators? Because something important to remember that we haven't done a lot in the past is look at the alternatives and the subs. Subs can be incredibly important, as well as coaches on the side of University of Hartford. And I am partial to Eric Culver, which is why I typically get rid of it. It's also why I don't join myself. Get Corned is a hilarious name. But as we look at the subs for both teams here, Journey going towards the side of the University of Hartford, Cranky, Lucky, Eric Culver, and Dusty going towards the sides of the University of Hartford, it's going to be edged out slightly for the first time ever by BU. Now, let me break down exactly why. No One Cares is hilarious. We don't have a lot of joke names.
That's an S tier name.
It's an S tier name. Become Based becomes the closest to like our joke names, especially since Get Corned was left off the team. But like we don't have any joke names, and a 3-word joke name with 3 rather short names that are able to fit inside of a gamer tag, really solid, honestly. Rimuru has been growing on me the more I say it, because I do actually know that there is an Orimoru in Japanese folklore, and then I believe there's a Rimuru in Scandinavian folklore and Norse mythology. Rimuru, I believe, was the name of the fox that ate at the Yerd tree at the beginning of the creation of the universe. Don't know if that's fully true though, but Allura in 1997 gets easily countered by Revan 1982, and Jerthreef gets
hold up. Allura 1997 is not a 1-to-1 matchup with Revan 1982. The Star Wars reference versus your name and I don't know if that's your birthday.
Allura is also a reference, but it's a better reference. It's actually a allusion to a really, really well-written book by Allura is the name of the secret organization. It was written earlier than that, which does not make a book better, but it was written by a pretty famous author. As well as Star Wars. I don't have Star Wars bias. Remember, the name game does come down to me. And my final decision is going to be a BU dub, but only slightly.
I think that's fair all the same.
Because Jerthreef is also just fun to say.
Now, there is one question coming in from Flixie Bad in chat. Where did you get your name from? I got my name from Eric Culver. Because I was always a fan of basketball, thus Air Jordan, Michael Jordan, as well as, oh my lord, what is going on?
Oh god, we're getting a little bit of Jay Silly as we see the University of Boston deciding to hold up high ground, getting 2 fire strikes out immediately. The Cassidy splits around the side of the bus and is now in the wrong part of town as Jerthreef is able to finish off the come base. University of Hartford falling for a Jay Silly comp strategy out of Maine.
And now, right now, you can just see the confidence just billowing out of BU. They really have no fear.
Absolutely. I think it's juxtaposed very well with the fear that you see out of the University of Hartford.
With teams playing this aggressive, it's going to largely come down to the Mei walls. If Urimaru can find those Mei walls, interestingly enough, both are playing Mei at this time. If Urimaru can find the Mei walls, it could be enough. Oh, what an early shatter! They had no idea. Super Vader, you can see, was only 30% by the time he got shattered with that.
But that's a pretty solid disengage, as we actually do see the shield able to save 3 of them, and they do kill the Rhine there. That's going to have spawn advantage really, really big. The wall does go out early, and this carry goes deep in. Wow. But this is a great advantage, and a poor wall on the side of the BU.
Oh! No, they're up 1 in this fight. All they have to do is live, become base, popping off on the Cassidy. Just going to town on this Reinhardt now. Revan, we see, uses the window just to, try to secure this. Doesn't want any questionable, risky business going on.
Great movie, by the way.
What?
Risky Business. Fantastic movie starring Tom Cruise from 1996.
And now, just Lucio, only person nearby, as all of BU is going to be getting these near spawns.
Yeah, the University of Hartford taking these fights incredibly slow, but we do see a prevalence of Become Base just absolutely dominating when it comes to this damage. We'd love to be able to see statistics.
We might see a High Noon coming. He has it online. Yeah. Shatter! Massive knocks down 3! And that's just a fight win all on its own. As long as they live.
Oh, never mind, as the Blizzard does come out on the side of BU, that could be huge.
Sound barrier clinically used. Oh! It just tears through them anyways.
Jerthreef's solid decision making definitely won them that small eco, as they're gonna have to regroup here without any tanks apiece. Jeff is able to find another, and that's not Jeff, that's Jerthreef, the evil demon inside of him just popping off every once in a while. That's a great High Noon option right there with the Blizzard.
Now, they do still have an advantage. We can see two, I believe the Junker Queen. Oh, no, never mind. Junker Queen
wow,
is
that is a fun swap. As we do see the Junker Queen swap on BU. How's that going to work? How's that really going to impact this brawl?
Junker Queen has a little bit more poke and a little bit less of that just like hard burst. As you can see, she just gets walloped after getting caught by that Mei wall. And Hartford's playing this really well. Pin just trying to chase these last stragglers, Kiriko and Soldier, only two remaining. As Hartford trying not to cast or curse them with any words I say right now.
Yeah, Hartford is doing terrible.
I nearly got Leroy killed, but I held my words and he survived.
They still
haven't managed to get these kills though. Soldier
finally goes down. Urgency still urgently in the back.
Kiriko able to just teleport away. Oh, massive pin with the follow-up from Become Base. They're not pushing the payload. Hopefully someone recognizes. And they're just going to push this forward and try to, you know, get this capitalized before they can have a clean re-engagement. The rush is online, so it's... No,
yeah, they're not even going to be able to touch.
Fair enough.
This is a really solid performance with Become Base, just providing a lot of that W energy wherever the tip of the spear, the Reinhardt is going. So much extra damage is able to follow up that we don't even see that the wall is hit when we charge the Junker Queen, is because Cassidy's already killed them with a couple headshots. We see the window fire strike eventually coming out here. Well timed, as was the window or the lamp to save your Reinhardt afterwards.
And now they're currently trading 2 for 1 as far as ultimates go. If they can live, even this, just get into spawn. Oh, thank God that bleed doesn't apply when you're in the spawn room.
It would be comical if it did. At very low HP, Revan 1982 is the only one to actually survive as they swap over to the Brig and then swaps back to the BAP. Probably just to reset some cooldowns. Doesn't know that it actually doesn't reset the cooldowns. Omega lol doesn't know.
It looks like
but everybody's also holding on high ground.
It looks like it reset the cooldown.
Well, no, it brought him back to the cooldown that it was already active at, which was right 2-3 seconds. So.
Oh.
But the University of Hartford falling for a little bit of a J silly as well, because everybody's still on high ground and behind them, but they do have control of the point, which might be all that matters.
And they also brought that Soldier down to 1 HP. If Revan can just find a shot on him, but honestly, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. They're pushing this payload, and they have 2 people stuck behind them.
That could be really solid, but they're also going to have to watch for their spawns to not get killed easily.
He does have the Tactical Visor, and we know Tac Visor, if they're not ready for it, we see Revan already gets chunked down, but they take out the Rhine. That is humongous.
Yeah, Blackout takes out another as the Visor comes in from the backline and might be able to kill. No, the V comes out as well.
Oh, and the solo shatter from Super Vader, just putting it down on him. Ash, Kiriko now the only remaining member, and the Reinhardt comes back. Surely just going to be bodied. Mail going to freeze any remaining contesting Tracer shortly after. Finally, Hartford caps with a full 2.25 minutes.
You honestly wouldn't have expected that from watching the game. We do see Hartford playing a little bit slower, a little bit more tepidly inside of this brawl versus brawl. Almost a complete mirror matchup up until the swap to the Junker Queen at the end. Even though we did see a little bit of the J Silly, I do think the BU is still putting their best foot forward, and the University of Hartford's actually overcoming it slightly. They're warming up after their first match, and we can definitely see a little bit more strength in their disengagements and their off-man 13 situations in which they're in a 3v5 or a 3v3 or a 1v3. We do see the University of Hartford actually able to survive those members and utilize that in the next fight, whether that's building up ultimates or just getting a little extra damage in. So the University of Hartford does finish off with 2 minutes left as the University of Hartford positions themselves well for this defense. Do see, however, some J Silly once again coming out on the side of BU. How do you feel about the J Silly overall in Overwatch right now? Overwatch 2 definitely allows for people to go the compositions that they're feeling a little bit better. Solid players that want to start off on things like Widow. It could have a high viability. And I know this might be a goofy comp that they're doing for the first couple seconds, but
to clarify, when you say J Silly, does that just mean anything that isn't, standard?
Yeah, anything that's not meta, J Silly.
Okay. I don't know. I feel like the Widow isn't going to be a long-term pick, but I think Hartford can absolutely play into this well with the comp they're rolling out on. As long as they, either focus down the ball quickly, like this right now, they could absolutely kill him, or simply just, disengage, bide your time, and focus on everyone else. Because Wrecking Bolt already nearly dies.
Yeah, the Wrecking Ball gives you a lot of opportunity to either kill their backline or just kill the Wrecking Ball quite a lot, because that's just how the Wrecking Ball has to play. You have to make sure that he doesn't get a lot of purchase by separating your backline or getting your supports disconnected from healing up your Reinhardt, as well as your ancillary parries. If we do see someone go into Hotel, Urgency just teleporting away.
But Kumbe's doing a great job of just controlling this room. You gotta be ballsy if you want to come and try a 1v1 become based in there.
Yeah, and Wrecking Ball decided to take that pick for a little bit, but the
the
Rimuru
Pharah.
and then roll through from Allura does enough damage to kill. Oh
That's a
wow, is the barrage already
lightning fast barrage. Become
That's the
based
strength of Pharah right now.
on this flank, just trying to see whatever he can do, but looks like this fight's gonna be over. No recontest possible, and they just concede the space.
And I mean, that's the tough side of playing against the Pharah, especially in a brawl like this. If your Cassidy is not the one absolutely dominating the Pharah and preventing her from just doing group damage, the Pharah is going to have ult like a cooldown. Obviously, that's coming from the side of a very well-experienced Pharah, but any Pharah can really achieve that, especially if they allow their tank to create the space necessary. The ball surviving all of those times at 1 HP is much more of a testament to the ball skill than the University of Hartford's like inability to kill them.
It's also a critically timed Suzu coming out from Urgency. It really saves the tank's life, the Wrecking Ball. Oh.
We do see the Cassidy go down once again as they get split away from the Immortality field that went inside of the Mei, or inside of the ball ultimate there.
They're caught in a really awkward position right now. They can't seem to make up their mind what they want to do, and now it looks like they're finally disengaging. Wall comes out, maybe catching the ball. The ball's gonna die, and Kiriko has none of their cooldowns. They can run potentially and take this. Oh, but the Pharah of Rimuru just laying in those rockets. Clean direct shot. Is gonna have another barrage online. Might just pop it right here, honestly.
Alright, American Yazan just hitting the absolute flicker dickers, and they have control over the point again as they're just going to roll forward, and they have the 13 situation in which they have the ultimates online, and they can just finish off these 3 players here.
Oh wow, Orimuru hitting the critical just right click icicles. Oh, the sound barrier isn't enough, and it just melts through Super Vader. Super unfortunate, but prevents the full team kill. Potentially. No, nothing going to be on the tables. Oh, become based! Become
Literally
based!
just like the Terminator.
He's just like, pew, 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 pew. Reload.
Yeah, he's just
Pew, pew, pew,
walking
pew,
through
pew.
entire police stations, deciding that this is his space, getting 2 to 3 kills. But we need him to be getting 4 to 5, and that's the University of Hartford. Honestly, just not dealing with this Pharah as urgently as they absolutely need to. This ball can be ignored, but this Pharah cannot. He's been putting the work in. You see the speed high noon. The ball assisting a little bit by booping him forward and is able to kill the Pharah because of that little extra boop. The res can come online, however, as we see a snipe from Moriamoro taking out Shatreef. The Widow's been rather silent the rest of the game, but University of Hartford able to kill him off, providing extra ultimate charge for the...
This Wrecking Ball has just been a nutcase. I don't think he's died yet.
Yeah, his survivability is wonky.
Oh, Super Raider with the solo shatter, just trying to put an end to his reign as, what's his name? Allura is forced to fall. The Symmetra swap actually comes out in place of the in place of the Widowmaker. Curious to see how Super Vader responds to this. The rush as well. Risky business right now, as I say it again. Orimuru pulls out the Blizzard, doesn't find anything, but it does at the very least zone some space and keep his team in a bit of safety. Pin across the map somehow finds the Wrecking Ball. What is going on? Barrage online for Rimuru. Looking just, make something work, but with the window online from Revan, interesting. Sound barrier, from Blackout, comes up, saves his team from the rocket barrage. Now Eddie is Super Vader doing whatever he can, just trying to keep this contest alive, become based with the high noon. Just, magic is being made, and they're saving their ultimates. It's a 4v3. They are absolutely in the advantage. This resurrection, res comes out, but that's frankly not a worthwhile trade in a situation like this. This Mercy's respawn is just monumental.
Oh, we also saw for like a couple frames there as we were swapping between characters. We saw Blackout absolutely just saw Son on top of their Kiriko, or on top of their Symmetra, sorry. You see Allura just get into the Jake Silly.
Oh, Super Vader gets booped off the map. As we see, Become Based opting to just go back for a solo High Noon onto the Pharah, just clearing them out, doing whatever they can. He loves that fan the hammer onto the Wrecking Ball. Hitting the Kovacs.
Surprising amount of damage.
Super Vader with another shatter.
Finds another.
Oh, but this is looking like it's going downhill at this point, as it's just Super Vader and Revan alive for the side of Hartford. As he takes good positioning, but oh, the Battle Mercy pulls out the Glock. And it appears to just be Super Vader. Urimaru, what an incredibly timed Blizzard. It freezes the Wrecking Ball. The Suzu comes out, keeps the ball alive, but that Blizzard, as well as Become Based, getting a kill on the Symmetra, I don't even know where, but that's enough. That might... Don't C9, don't C9, don't C9! Oh, the Tracer of Urimaru giving me a heart attack. The sound barrier from Blackout keeps the team alive. Become Based finds another. Well played.
This is like a fight that I can't analyze. As an analyst and a shoutcaster is just going to be going down the shoutcaster every single time because, like, the fights don't end. This is a rare moment, and Ball just sails back in, deciding to start another 5 more minute engage.
This is so confusing. I like, from everything we've seen, we know this is an incredible team, but they're just constantly fighting, and they're not regrouping. Now, I say this, still dangerous waters, but a High Noon and a window on the tables is Become Based. Just goes for it. Complete zoning ult. Opts to solo the Wrecking Ball. You know, that's totally worth it. 1-for-1 trade when it involves the tank. That's value in my books.
There's so much damage coming out as the Junkrat is able to find it.
Urimaru walls off his own tank from the support. Oh, what a critical miscommunication. And now you have to go for this window. Oh, but it's too late. Oh, that's dreadful. Revan was just staring at that Mei wall and watching his Reinhardt's HP drop. He holds on to the amplification matrix for just a little too long. And that spells the end of the second round of King's Row as we head into overtime.
University of Hartford doing a lot better of a job on that third point of actually defending against that comp, knowing that they have to slow down their pace immeasurably whilst protecting their backline and preventing them from actually getting picked off. Would have loved to see them go all the way down to 0 so that they could have secured themselves a win or draw scenario. But this is going to have to be balls to the wall for the University of Hartford, who are going to be defending here first, I believe, as they did have the higher time sequence there. I do like this swap, however. We see a little bit of a less standard composition from the University of Hartford, accepting succumbing to their non-meta slave entities that scream in their minds, the Jake Silly coursing through their veins. Hopefully it brings them to a little bit of victory here, as we do see the Diva. And I'm excited for this, man. This is a composition that, like, bro, this is the type of thing I would be calling out. This is like, I'm so proud right now. Let the Jake Silly run over you.
My fear, obviously, is the fact that they're not playing Wrecking Ball. I think the Ryan v Ryan mirror is something Eddie really prefers, but it looks like instead they're just opting into just committing into the Become Based, as we see Blackout swapped over to the Mercy, and Become Based is just gonna have everything.
Oh, victory is assured by one thing right here. It's just Eddie not spending their entire game staring at the Reinhardt. You need to stare at literally anything else. His urgencies are able to take Orimoru inside of Bank, and Eddie is still looking at the Rhine. Ah, that's not your target. You gotta go to Bendigo, Morty. This is wrong. This is so wrong.
Looks like everyone's focus is this Reinhardt. And
Why? You're not real.
Stand still, finds the headshot. Nearly takes him out. Super Vader perhaps gonna go chase. This is just a Sombra and a Mercy, and only 14 seconds without the Mercy coming in for this final fight. Become Based is just doing it all for Hartford. Opts to just fan the hammer with the Tracer right in front of him. Finds the sticky grenade and finds the kill with it as well. Now, just a High Noon takes out Jathrib, and it's just a Wrecking Ball and a Lucio. Become Based! Become Based! Become Based!
Holy shit! That was the first kill anybody else got in the entire University of Hartford's round.
You know, maybe that's just a viable option. Just Turbo Pocket become based and let that man win you this match, as University of Hartford manages to fully defend without sacrificing a single tick, which simply puts them in a win-or-draw scenario. Almost 3 minutes on the clock. Incredibly good odds for Hartford coming into this fight.
That was filthy. Obviously, a draw here would be incredibly detrimental to the push here of the University of Hartford as they try and, pendulally shift the entire momentum of this match, which is something that I think Become Base just did inside of my mind instantaneously. That was incredible Cassidy play and a really, really well-timed retake there whilst fighting against every single odd given to him. Become Base just coming alive on that Cassidy, and you see the inscrutability of just keeping your damage alive in a situation in which your Rind is not the main focus. University of Hartford does a great job on that Jake Silly, but we do see them go back to a little bit more of a standard. Orimaru back on the Mei here as well. Become Based still on that signature Cassidy, especially for this season, but we also see them going up against the exact same decision making that BU did in the first half. So will they recognize it? Will they be able to defend against it? What will be their response? Seems like they notice the shield comes up, fire strikes are disengaged from, the Kiriko's going to stay behind, maybe try and get a pick, but once they TP, that's going to be a great opportunity for the University of Hartford to just press the W button, and they're finding their speed right here.
Their whole plan at the moment is just lay into this Reinhardt. Don't let him play the game. Let Super Vader play the game. And if Super Vader can play the game, well, that means Become Base gets through too, as they just annihilate him. Become Base with a 3-tap brings me back to my palindrome days as Destiny 1, and Super Vader now just on this flank, looking to make ends meet, as adults say. And Hartford takes the second map, bringing this to a tied series 1-1.
That was incredible. University of Hartford really, really just bringing back the entirety of their momentum and their vibe, just imbued throughout the entirety of this match. Again, the play of the game going down to Become
This
Base.
is the overtime.
Wow.
Look at this. Oh, wait. The standstill hit my shots.
Yeah, they hit the Kovacs for a second. And then hits the 2-tapper onto the Mercy. Then to finish him off again, it's brutal. It's brutal that you have to face that. Like, what would you do if you're BU? I'd cry? Write a strongly worded email?
Honestly, I don't know what I would do. Simply put, getting rolled by a hit scan like that is hard to deal with. He has that Mercy pocket. He has everything going for him. You've gotta just blow him up before he can do anything. Maybe a literal Junkrat pick, just going for the Wombo combo. Also going for maybe like a Widowmaker, just long range.
Oh my god. I have some extra information that I don't even think that Become Base recognizes. So Become Base decided to post inside of our Discord server, inside of our Overwatch channel, a picture of some failed graphics on side of his Cassidy. Now, I don't know if it's related to it, but earlier today, drivers, graphics drivers, if you're going to be hopping onto Overwatch today, you should upgrade your or update your graphics driver through NVIDIA. If it's the case that he just played an entire game with outdated graphics, I don't understand how this human being is real, bro. I don't. Hopefully it's just a visual bug. We do see a little bit of the background into the University of Hartford still having fun, still being able to post some memes and recognize the Jake Silly that's happening both in the code and in the game itself, as we see a little bit of a untypical map choice, as we see Dorado come out from the BU's option here. I think it'll fit well into what they ran on the first point of Li Jiang. That standard monkey brawl also works really, really well as a dive. Would be very interested to see if that's actually what they go here, as they're swapping around characters quite a lot. That's because the game has not actually started. Getting a little bit of potential fake scouting information into the information economy can be incredibly, incredibly important. As we are sending some yeoman graphs back and forth between those who are here and those who are sitting upon the mountaintop, learning and reading the scripts of yeomanry. One day, here at twitch.tv/airculver, we will in fact lay out the entirety of the yeoman Bible. Those who hold dear to their heart their ranks inside of Overwatch will one day come to fruition as the leaders of Overwatch itself. However, right now we see the leaders being no one, as University of Hartford is up against BU 1-1. And an interesting comp coming out from the side of BU is they're going to be choosing to defend here with Rimuru on a Sombra with Jathreef on the Ashe and then a Sigma. This is an incredibly stationary comp. How do you think this is going to fare up against what they honestly should be running, which is the comp the University of Hartford's going?
I don't know. I think Hartford's definitely going to have the advantage here. The biggest question mark for me is simply going to be Orimaru on the Tracer. If he can get the pathing and, you know, contest high ground as needed, I think they'll be fine. But it can be tricky. This can be a very tricky position to navigate. And, oh, Rimuru takes out one, and Urgency takes out his own.
Wow.
That's just that's just a tricky thing to deal with. You have two people that can just sit in your back line and then teleport away when it gets dangerous. As we see Rimuru just doing that same thing.
We haven't seen this out of Rimuru before this. We do see the Urgency just kind of cooking on this character, but we see such a level of skill on this Sombra. Wow. The tracking just absolutely pelting damage into them. Understandable how they got that first kill, but Jathreef is able to finish off Orimaru from range. I take back a lot about with the J silliness of this comp, as we see a lot more of the stationariness taken away by the fact that they're getting these early picks and fights. Jathreef brought incredibly low, but the University of Hartford finally able to eclipse this corner. Hopefully they'll be able to set up a couple dives so the stationary comp actually finds its deficits against this standard and better brawl, frankly. But Orimaru is going to have to come back and set up without dying.
All Hartford really needs to do at this moment, especially since they're playing into... Oh! Become Base takes him out immediately. I don't think they were expecting the missed sticky grenade to find so much value. But, oh, Orimaru in danger. He engaged all by him lonesome and slept and rocked at the same time. Super Vader sleeping on the job. And just another re-engage onto the Sigma. Really, that's probably a fight you can take when you have the numbers advantage in a situation like this. The Sigma's completely on him by himself, but what is Become Based cooking over here? 3-man EMP from Rimuru. Could be dangerous as Blackout does get taken out, but I think they see blood in the water and they just remove the tank. What?
Excuse me!
No way,
stop,
dude!
Just stop.
Give him the 4. What is he doing? Wait, that was a 5K, right? Because he got the sig too. Bro, what is this man on?
You know what? I was gonna do a little bit of a funny after this last fight. We were gonna do into a little bit of a mimi fact, because mimi is also how you say mimir or sleep in Spanish, which is a really, really fun little linguistic trait. Exactly. So if you were to say someone was sleeping in Spanish, you would say they're a mimi. Very funny. However, Become Base just doing the Lord's work. He's going to try and take this top right here, which could be incredibly influential as the University of Hartford sets up the counter dive, or sorry, the quasi dive, as the Tracer and the Winston take this high ground for free, pushing back this these long range damage. Oh, but Rimuru is able to find another. Rimuru just going toe to toe with the entire University of Hartford backline. The Pulse does come out as well as the Primal here.
Hopefully they'll find this kill on these supports. They get one, and I think that might just be enough for Super Vaders. They disengage, Become Based. Where? How? Wait, what is he doing here?
Why are you here?
What is going on? Blackout comes out with the Valkyrie. Sigma all alone. Although there is a Wrecking Ball stalling this objective. Surely Winston's... he's gonna die. Revan just, you know, couldn't really do anything with the Wrecking Ball. With the Bob on the payload, as Jathreef opts to switch off the Ashe over to the Tracer, and Rimuru, recognizing the danger of this Winston, swaps over to the Reaper. But keep in mind, this is just gonna play straight into Become Base's hands. He can just wreck you. Simple as that.
As the University of Hartford has really, really good control over the high ground here.
No
Winston
way.
just drops, bringing everybody incredibly low. Become Base just like a turret up here.
Oh, Blackout though does get taken out. Sigma right on top of the team.
3 down.
Oh my god. Trueblade 16 just subscribed for 3 months. Let's go.
Incredibly large. Shout out to TruePlay16 and all the other people that are supporting us over at twitch.tv/AirCulver. If you're watching live at, or sorry, watching not live at youtube.com/@AirCulver, thank you so much for the support. As we're going to get back into these University of Hartford versus BU 1-1 on Dorado, we're going to be going back onto the Become Base cam here. We do see a swap from Super Vader over to this Diva. Hopefully it's able to give a lot of more of the space that we saw in King Bro. Become
Oh,
base.
style sub 2.
Very sick. Oh, thank you so much for all
Thank
this.
you guys.
Very, very sick.
Now they know this Tracer's in the backline. Unsure exactly how they want to go about it. I guess they're opting to just ignore her. What is going on? Tracer goes for the triple blink. Orimuro going for the 1v1, but gets brought dangerously low. Saves his recall though and forces it out on Zero. Oh, that's the one clip. Oh my god.
He better. As the dive then comes in perfectly timed onto the Sigma, coming from both angles, as he's gonna have to get the nano just to survive for a little bit longer. Because
High noon incoming. High noon incoming. Oh no, Tracer behind you. Just headshot melee her. Just do it.
Yeah, just headshot melee.
Okay, help him. A bit of a clear miscommunication between the rest of the team. As looks like they're just gonna be forced into a reset. And something I've noticed, I don't know if you've picked this up. It seems Super Vader just refuses to play Winston into a Reaper. Whenever I see the enemy team playing Reaper, he swaps from the Winston to the D.Va. I don't know if it's a fear thing or if it's just lack of, I don't know. But
I think it's a quasi-respect thing, as the University of Hartford is very much known for just kind of not kowtowing to the meta, but definitely kowtowing to our shortcomings. Winston, specifically Eddie's Winston, does have struggle against any sort of Reaper neutral. As we see the rock not able to be aimed by the DM, that's very tough. It's typically why you body block, is the pulse also comes out, but a negated. Never mind, Jeff actually doesn't go with the pulse. Urgency able to take out Orimuro. How does that keep on happening?
This is going to be most likely end of this fight, and only 14 seconds left. Maybe finds the kill. That could be all they need. That goes for the fan the hammer. Is anyone going to be able to touch? It looks like D.Va and Tracer are contesting. A missed pulse bomb comes out from Jathrif, and Super Vader just launches that D.Va bomb up in the sky. Oh, wait, did he? What happened to the shield?
He walked right through the shield.
You know, U-Heart takes those.
We take those.
Whatever it takes. Now Jathrif stalling this as long as he can. Super Vader takes him out. Rimuru with the Death Blossom. He finds 2. Super Vader misses the defense matrix. Finds 3. Tragedy is striking as it's just Super Vader and the Kiriko of Revan 1982 just trying their best to keep them all alive, but they get taken out and nobody's going to be able to touch in time. And tragedy strikes with Rimuru in the name of Rimuru. I almost had something really cool, but I fumbled the bag.
Yeah, fumbling the bag is Rimuru completely overcoming Orimuro here. Just the oh shit moment that Orimuro has to go through every single time that he's getting picked off early in these fights. It's definitely a large detriment that we're seeing just consistently over and over again. Haven't seen a lot of work outside of that incredible Tracer blink onto in a Tracer 1v1, but that was well handed to Orimuro. We're definitely going to see a little bit more productivity out of the other DPS besides Become Base, especially because Become Base is just putting on a clinic right now. It's attractive, honestly. I'm digitally attractive.
Simply put, attractive.
Simply put. And the University of Hartford really does need to kick it into gear when it comes to the other things, but it's not an undefendable position, especially with the prevalence of second point high grounds being so dang good. The University of Hartford, when they control the high ground, when they control their own pace, they can do really, really solid things, and their first point defense has been known to be really solid, especially when it comes to this red building hold. University of Hartford very much could equalize on time, bringing it to a second point if necessary, but we'll have to see here as the University of Hartford doesn't full 3 cap on their attack, 1-1 against BU right now. We're going to see an equalization here of compositions as we see the Winston from both sides and a Genji soldier on the side of Jathrif and Rimuru respectively. Hello?
Unmuted. Hello, welcome back. Anyways, Become Based. Doing Become Based things. Allura gets brought to half health. Become Based just cleanly fanning the hammer in, and bit of miscommunication as Super Vader probably thought he was in a safe position, but gets taken out. And now Winston just looking to hunt down any of these stragglers, but it's going to be scary with Become Based here to protect them all.
So the University of Hartford
Oh!
four-man squad backing up incredibly well there. How did they not all die?
I think it was a combination of, you know, just, you can't easily kill a mercy-pocketed Cassidy, especially as just a Winston. Did he deflect that? They also had the constant Suzu and the constant healing, but despite it all, the Winston does eventually find the kills he's looking for, and this looks like it's probably going to be the end of the first point defense. He just killed, like, many. He killed many.
Laura in 1997 just coming back into his own. The much more solid Winston players, we see the neutral just being a lot more strong. They don't even build any ultimates, but the University of Hartford does have the high noon on flying, as well as the Kitsune Rush and the Pulse. They're going to have to use a lot of this to be able to maintain this high ground. As we can see, halfway through this second point is when the game ends. So Winston's going out pretty early. Hopefully brought up by this bank push, as the University of Hartford is running directly into this monkey.
Oh, it gets blocked by the stair! Oh, that's so unfortunate. As Allura gets the juggle onto the Mercy now. He's just going to be going rampant, it seems, on this Tracer. As Orimuro just doing his best to run away and regroup with his team. Is we're looking at a 4-minute time bank, and BU is just one fight away.
This is like a 5-meter push for the rest of the time bank. As the Kitsune Rush does come out, they're able to make it to point. The Pulse does come out, and the Kitsune Rush on the side of BU as well. Brought down to 5 HP Allura.
4 ultimates popped all at the same time. This is going to be near impossible for Hartford to pull off, but Become Based. It's never lost with Become Based here. Super Vader, asleep on point, half health, might fall here. Looks like Blackout is forced to really just peel for him and lose the pocket on Become Based as Orimuro finds the kill on No One Cares. Looking for another 3-map, just playing from the safety as that bubble. Now Winston caught in a bad spot, maybe gonna get taken out here, but Suzu and the Kiriko teleport. Maybe a Kiriko dies on their own. Oh! Orimuro comes out, and Super Vader hunting these kills with the help of Orimuro. Disengaging.
And that's just a textbook example of how to shave an entire minute off your clock.
And save that fight. The fact that they won that fight when 4 ultimates got popped all at the same time, they came out with a Nano Blade, a Rush, and a Tac Visor, all stacked on top of each other. That was definitely, to a degree, a just misplay from, Urgency just collapsed Orimuro as 3 people on this objective. It's going to be largely up to Super Vader with this high noon. He's not going to be able to live through this, unfortunately. The Suzu comes out from Urgency, and that's going to be the end of round number 2 as Boston University take Dorado with the score of 2-1.
And a little bit of the silly championing just kind of ending there as Allura 1997 plays their first play of the game here, finally taking one away from Become Based. It was just really, really solid play from the entirety of BU, just pumping in a lot of extra damage and support inside of this Winston, as well as supporting him with alternative actions. I mean, this Kiriko, the entire time Urgency is just doing a fantastic job of how strong Kiriko can possibly be. When you're taking those 1v1s, destroying their extra divers or flankers, just makes it easy. It makes the main push a lot better, especially when you're getting that extra support from the flank. If it wins, if it doesn't, your Tracer isn't the one that's even taking that flank, meaning that your Tracer can go on an extra flank. The University of Hartford really hasn't unlocked that backline confidence or capability that BU is seeming to have, especially out of Urgency. It's been really cool to see.
Now, we have a question come in from Alex Dial in chat. Is J3FF not pronounced Jeff? What do you have to say to that?
I mean, I feel like if it would be pronounced Jeff, I would just have written Jeff, considering that Overwatch doesn't allow you to have only one person containing the code JEFF. The numbers at the end are just randomized. He could have just been Jeff. If he wanted to be Jeff, he should have just been Jeff. Same way that Allura in 1997 could have just been Allura. Same way that Blackout could have just been Blackout without a 0. That's why I pronounce his name correctly, the same way that we pronounce Marv1 back in Overwatch League.
So,
and Stand 1.
So what do you say Blackout?
Well, that's my friend. I'm saying his Christian name.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah. For everyone out there, you should be calling him Black Zero out.
Black Zero Ut.
Black Zero out, yes. Sorry, haven't said that one in a while since we've become close friends. We are allowed to refer to each other by our Christian names, Blackout and Get Corned, respectively.
Now, what about Na00 Nakers?
No, those are two.
No, I know. But what if? What if?
That would be wild. I also love the fact that both of us can really just determine Overwatch text perfectly, and we can tell the difference between zeros and O's.
Now,
A surprisingly easy amount.
Now, to finish answering a question from Flixie Bad, he asked a while ago, was where does my name come from? So I finished saying half of the answer, which was Michael Jordan, Air Culver. There's a parallel there. But the other half of that question, half of that answer, comes down to Avatar, The Last Airbender. I was a ginormous fan of that show, me and my brothers. And together we really just... we had like this fantasy game that we made up. Like we would go out in our woods, which is just our backyard, and just like play pretend like Avatar, like... it is a whole complicated game.
Let me take this away from you, as we do see a little bit of backlash in the chat from Alex Dial. I do in fact know what Elite is. I am Elite speaker myself. I've practiced a little bit of Elite in the past. However, I respect other languages and understand that I speak English, and I'm not going to pronounce something in Elite speech simply because Jathrif should be pronounced in English the same way that if I were speaking Elite, then I would say Jeff. Very simple like that. However, we aren't speaking Elite. If you want the Elite option, you can go to twitch.tv/airculver_ for all of your Elite restreams. They are dubbed, so it might take a while, but we got some Elite speakers over there.
I don't know. To me, it's kind of elitist.
I hate you.
God, I have a great sense of humor.
He has a sense of humor. We are seeing a little bit of a slowdown.
It is a sense of humor of all time.
It is a sense of humor from a human being on this planet. Speaking of human beings on this planet, we do see 10 of them slowly taking a bio. The University of Hartford having a little bit of a struggle here. What do you think the next step forward is for the University of Hartford here? Do you think that they opt to go to the nuclear option?
The nuclear option?
Maybe better pronounced as the niftular option.
Oh, no. He is currently in a Grandmaster level scrim, and he's really just, leaving it up to his teammates. When he's available, he'll join, but at the moment, this is a growing experience, to say the least, for the rest of the members of this roster. Fact of the matter is, you won't always have a GM 1 level DPS player, peak top like 80 in North America. You're not always going to have that on your team. And it's, to a degree, I don't want to call it a crutch, but as I said, learning moment.
One. And I mean, I think we definitely just go back to, thank you very much for that insightful answer. As we go back to the important words of Paramore off of their 2013 release, Ain't It Fun? Don't go crying to your mama, because you're going to be on your own in the real world. And this right here is definitely the real world for the entirety of the University of Hartford roster. But we see them eke out a win on that second map. We see a pretty good defense there from the beginning of second point on University of Hartford's side. But they definitely can do a little bit more. And if we get the counter pick here for maps, hopefully University of Hartford picks a solid one that they know they're going to win and do a good job on. And they can eke out another victory to bring it to a map 5 here. A very hype and inciting map 5.
I'm excited. I want them to finish this bio already. They said quick 5-min bio. Did anyone
Actually,
start that timer? I can only vamp so much.
We did a lot of vamping, but we have to know that 5 min actually means 5 minimum. So no maximum set. That sucks for us.
I don't think that's what that means.
No, the rulebook actually explicitly says that it's 5 minutes maximum. Hopefully they're not watching this stream right now. None of the 11 people currently watching at twitch.tv/airculver. Once again, wanted to give a quick shout out to everybody that is supporting, whether or not it be a follow, a sub, a gift sub, a bit,
a Twitch Prime. If you have an Amazon Prime account and you link that with your Twitch account that you were currently viewing on, you can use a free Twitch Prime subscription on your favorite University of Hartford casting channel. Eric Culver, hit it up, much appreciated. Also, as probably Peter was about to say, youtube.com/@EricCulver. This VOD will be up, and if you are watching there, make sure to press the like button and subscribe, bell icon, never miss an upload.
Yeah, and Swiggity Swaggity, thank you guys so much for all of the magic that you guys provide here, even just from the vibes to the questions at the end for all of the interview targets and everything like that. Speaking of which, I had a little bit of a bit that I want to run, especially if we're going to keep on having the vamp here. Become Base is playing like he really wants an interview. I've been thinking that since that Kings Row match, as we're going to look a little bit maybe into his stats, could be a little bit of a fun.
We can.
As Become Base, an incredible player on the side of University of Hartford, we get a little bit of a player spotlight looking at their prevalence here. The current competitive season, they've been actually playing quite a lot of Kiriko, not getting a lot of success on it, however. We do see they're still in Plat 5. It's kind of funny.
Frankly, not much of a comp grinder, as we can see. He's only gotten 1 rank up on the damage roll, and only 1 rank up on the support as well. Frankly,
yeah.
53 win percent. But, you know, let's check out this Cassidy statistic. Let's do all modes Cassidy. 54 win percent, dominant, accuracy. Wait, hold up. I should do all comp.
Wait, he has 322 hours on Cassidy?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
I don't even think I have a character above that time.
Let me just see.
That's his highest of all.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's double. What is this kid, bro?
I will say a lot of these stats were combined from his console games.
Oh, okay.
Console account,
understandable. Yeah. Definitely like an absolute LAN warrior. Sorry, a WAN warrior. Back in the day, playing
WAN?
pretty much any wireless access network. It's just like offline tournaments, or online tournaments specifically. He played a lot of them, including some console GOATS games. I remember back when we were on the Overwatch team for the first season. He was also participating in a console-only GOATS tournament. Just loves to play the game. As we're gonna get back into it finally after this 5-minute biome where like 10 has turned out. All 10 of our players returned to their PC machines, and we're gonna see Coliseum.
I love Coliseum. We saw Super
It's a
Vader.
good map.
Super Vader showing the Zarya. Not totally expecting it. And what was Allura on? Why has that much rechargeable shield? Maybe it's just a visual bug with Wrecking Ball. I've seen there's been a lot of just weird interactions with that character's health hitbox.
Yeah, Super Vader also has the same amount though.
No, the health bar for Super Vader is split clearly 50-50 as Zarya.
Oh yeah, actually.
Allura is not in the middle.
This is so fascinating. Overwatch, really, really interesting game to just kind of get absolutely enveloped inside of. There's so many small, intricate details that you can see, even right here. A beautiful Roman city skyline, beautifully transformed into a futuristic style. A couple maglevs in the background. Beautiful recreation of the Roman style of architecture, as well as city planning. And a recreation of the aqueducts as well. We do hop in instead into the brutal sport of Overwatch 2.
That's
Sigma on the side of BU, while Super Vader is actually going to be going Rhine. Once again, we see a Rhine standard and a Sig standard on the side. So it's going to be spam versus brawl here. The University of Hartford just having to opt for this faster fight graph. They have the mid ground control. No idea why you wouldn't just keep on pushing up here. University of Hartford
figuring out what the enemy team's playing. If you don't know what they have, it's going to be risky to just run at them. But right now, you know, and you just have to run on the Sig. And that's exactly what they're doing. I love this call from Super Vader to just work on just body the Sigma. But he hasn't fallen. There are probably some flankers. Rimuru, we see the Tracer in the backline, causing a lot of problems and taking out 2 of the squishies for Hartford. Rimuru most likely going to die here. Super Vader, Blackout going to do his best to keep him alive, but they're just falling like just dead people.
Dead people indeed, and that's going to be a don't dead open inside as the University of Hartford just absolutely gets eviscerated from the backline there. The Tracer just walking as they walked, pretty much at the same speed, picking them off from the backline. Would love to have known what Urgency exactly was doing there. As we see Urgency just hiding up in this little ivory tower. Not been noticed yet. Orimaru able
with
to
the
take out
one-shot.
somebody.
That's great revenge feeling after the one-shots he experienced as the Tracer himself.
Oh, the Tracer's gonna get picked back up.
Allura brought one. Jeff falls, or J3, sorry. I apologize for my elite translation. And now it's just a Tracer and a Kiriko, I believe. Ooh!
Not a Tracer, actually, as the University of Hartford still has become based. Urgency still just doing the Lord's work.
Are they gonna kill him? Kill him? Kill him?
Just
kill him?
disengage, perhaps. We only have Cassidy on point right now. The Cassidy could be completely ganked right now.
Kill him? Kill him?
This is becoming more perilous.
Oh my lord, he was almost able to teleport out. And now we see actually a Reinhardt mirror coming in as Super Vader on the Ryan and Allura swaps over to the Reinhardt off of the Sigma. And this is really comp based. Clean counterpin. Allura is certainly going to fall here after the massive stagger that we intentionally got onto the enemy Kiriko after the last fight.
Very much intentional.
Now,
very Giga Brain play.
Now, the next 20 meters are going to be really tricky for Hartford if they don't play this right. That high ground is going to be dangerous with J3 on that Ashe and no one cares rocking the Mercy. And now
this Monkey too.
We see him swap over to the Winston. He's really low, 1 HP, and Become Base just dominates him in the back line. Become Base pulls out the high noon, just going for the solo kill. Where are we at here? And unfortunately, does eventually fall. Sound Barrier comes just after J3 takes out so many members of Hartford. Now Super Vader and Blackout and Orimaru, again, the lone 3 survivors in Blackout.
It's always you 3. Every time.
Oh!
Never mind. Not Blackout. As Urgency is able to take out the other 2, but not this Lucio. A little bit too slippery, just getting through the fingers. However, they're still peeking the Kiriko. This Kiriko that's known to take off heads, and yet we're still peeking. It's actually going in. Blackout, the only one to actually have killed this Kiriko once. However, in a situation now, and the Kiriko
lost track of the rest of the team as he gets caught out by the Winston.
Huge stagger.
Assistance.
That's brutal.
And now, looks like they're probably going to be able to find this objective push and take the lead by just a couple meters here before Hartford comes in for this fight. J3 almost falls to Become Base, finds the sticky, but it's not going to do anything. And now they have a bit of point control. Super Vader wants to go for this Earth Shatter, but he really has no window for it yet. I thought he was just going to jump around the corner and slam. Opts to solo shatter the tank. Gets the pin, but the Suzu is there in time. Allura pulls out the Primal Rage, juggles him off the map. Valkyrie expended as well. Orimaru just going to try and stall this payload as long as he can. Certainly going to fall, but at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world.
It isn't. The University of Hartford still has the capacity to pull it back here, even though they're going to be losing this spawn advantage. It could still happen. There's 5 minutes left on these maps. These maps are designed to be so long, but they have to deal with this Kiriko. Urgency has been just like living rent-free, honestly, bullets intact inside of their mind the entire game. The University of Hartford, a good rotation here as none of them get picked off for the first time in a while. The blizzard does come out, but I don't think anybody's actually inside of it. The University of Hartford stuck inside of this corner and corralled. They could do that and then fully burst the Winston down, but the Winston is still alive and is able to find Blackout and Revan.
And now,
that's so tough.
Disaster for Hartford. Super Vader certainly going to fall, trying to just run away, but Kitsune Rush expended is the only ultimate for BU as Orimaru opts to swap to the Reaper, and I honestly love this call. I think it's going to help a lot with their biggest problem, which has been Allura on this Winston. And now, a lot of ultimates online for the University of Hartford. And, oh, Winston gets completely isolated and somehow still finds a kill on Revan. Unbelievable how that worked out.
Orimaru, though, at 1 HP because Urgency was able to just find the perfectly well-timed headshot right onto him.
Orimaru, though, on this Reaper is still going to be able to just melt these targets, such as a Bob. Just forced to disengage just a little bit. Without their Baptiste, Super Vader can't play as aggressively as he typically wants to. They know Urgency. Oh, wait, whoops. Urgency just in the backline right now with the rest of his team. The pin from Super Vader comes out, but doesn't find anything. Allura pops the Primal Rage, keeps himself alive as Rimuru finds a kill on Revan 1982 again on the Baptiste. Sound Barrier forced out of Blackout to keep his team alive. And now Become Based finds a kill finally onto the Ash. That's going to be their opening, but it's instantly res back up. There's no way for them to really shut down their res. Suzu forced and teleport. They know they have a window to engage onto that Kiriko, but they don't have any of the tools they need as Urgency just takes them out with a couple kunais. Super Vader just alone here on the objective, certainly going to stagger himself. Oh, maybe. Barely gets taken out. And this is last fight territory for BU, and Hartford is in tricky waters.
They're in utter disarray. They do have 3 ultimates online compared to the 1.5 the University of Hartford has to use almost all of them even just to get out of the spot, as Jeff already takes out 1. They're using none of these ultimates right now as the Bob does come out as well. Jeff able to find a couple more as well. University of Hartford's gonna go down with still 1 ultimate in the back pocket. The Shatter not even going off for connecting to anything.
And now, I'm just gonna stall as much as they can. We see Urimaru stalling for now. Blackout back. Death Blossom comes out. Could be valuable. Finds a kill, but potentially going to be immediately rezzed. Not sure if it's online. As we see, there we go. No one cares. Instantly rezzing. Revan, though, back with the Amplification Matrix, looking to beam down this Winston. Brings him extremely low. Has his shift, has all his abilities to keep himself alive. The Pulse Bomb, though, comes out and takes out Super Vader, the Wrecking Ball, the main sustaining force of their defending hold. Become Based on this Tracer, just being a nuisance, trying to get these kills. But the Valkyrie is such an annoying ultimate for these overtime fights. It just keeps everyone up without perfect target focus. And now the Winston is just harassing Revan 1982 over here on this Baptiste. Manages to keep himself alive with the lamp, and someone's stealing the payload. Oh, what a great play from Urimaru to just take a lot of this pressure off his team and just buy time. Forced to use the Death Blossom, but that play alone gives Hartford breathing room. As even though they lose another 2, if he didn't make that play, 3, if they didn't make that play, they would push the payload in right now. That play gives the breathing room they need to just get their players back out of the respawn room and potentially win this fight. A look over at Super Vader on the Wrecking Ball, instantly burning down the the Bob ultimate from Ash. Gets pulsed, immediately Suzu clean, and now Minefield from Super Vader just separating everyone. The Tracer falls to just well-placed mines. They're gonna look for these kills. They chase this Mercy down first. Just does a bit of waves. She's still alive, but Super Vader takes him out. And this is where dreams come true. Or don't. It's going to be a very difficult situation as Rimuru swaps over to the Sombra. Just going to be a complete nuisance to Super Vader on that Wrecking Ball. And a massive ultimate disadvantage for Hartford, as their primary chances are going to be built around a Sound Barrier from Blackout and a chances of a Death Blossom. Sound Barrier comes out, isn't able to save Super Vader, but the Death Blossom is still available online, and he's just going to pop it. He goes, the Suzu comes out, it's big! Suzu saves multiple teammates, but many kills come online for Hartford, and it's just 2 up. Massive Sound Barrier keeps, oops. Where are we at? And now
only 1 person alive. University of Hartford actually does manage to clamber all the way back and win that fight with 3 people alive. And Jeffrey finally goes down.
And clean. And now as long as they can get their Kiriko back in this fight without sacrificing this objective, Kiriko will be able to teleport back. They will have the Kitsune Rush, and they get here just in time perhaps. Maybe? No. Kitsune Rush comes out, but they are stuck in a 3v5 situation. This is not where anybody wants to be. And goes to heal the Wrecking Ball, the Bob just a little. Urimaru, where's he at? Last one alive. Valiant effort, incredibly well played by the University of Hartford, as frankly they were they were in a massive disadvantage coming into this match, but they still played incredibly well and brought it to a map 4.
The University of Hartford did a fantastic job of managing to stay inside of this fight for longer than honestly they had the right to. It was impressive to see them do as well as they did towards that end and actually do those small little micro plays in which they were able to eke out a little bit of victory. But that is definitely going to be a GG's as the university, sorry, Boston University is able to take this 3-1 in Coliseo and finish that off. The University of Hartford not able to find the purchase on a lot of those maps, but able to find some pretty solid middle fights, really good rotations. And this Hartford team is just getting better every single week. Very exciting to see out of them. It's interesting to see that you just went live inside of your own chat. Very cool. Sorry,
Yeah,
a little distracted here as I did get ahead. As that entire Coliseo, I just sat there mouth ajar. Honestly, unable to commentate. The University of Hartford was staggering not only themselves but the enemy team, and it was a style of play that hasn't been seen in quite a long while for me. So it confounded me. It honestly did. So I just need to take a second and really just breathe. It was really wild. Frankenstein comps all over the place, and in general, the University of Hartford able to get some form of victory in a couple of those fights. It was very.
I'm currently hitting up Become Based of the Cassidy to see if he's interested in doing the interview. Because, despite the results, that man fragged. Got a yes, sure. Looking
dominating the competition. Hello.
Is everything okay?
How is it going?
Let me get
I have
this.
2 hours, but I'm chilling.
Give me
Good to hear.
half a second. Oh, it's hidden. Boom.
And as we get this all
right, yeah, we're good. Transition.
Hello, thank you for
Hey.
joining us. Become Based. The Cassidy player for a lot of this map today. Definitely something that we want to dive into immediately. Let's talk Kings Row. You guys won that map in the end. How did your Cassidy feel on that map? That was the second map in a row that
Shit
you
was
got
going
play of the game.
crazy at the end. I'm not gonna lie. I
Yeah.
was feeling it.
It showed. It really did show. When we
You were feeling it, we were seeing it.
when we saw that overtime comp come out with the Diva, the Mercy swap from Blackout, and I can't remember the rest of the comp. I think there was a Baptiste. It clearly just looked like, ayo, Become Based, win us this round. And I mean that's exactly what happened.
Wait, what's the name? What's the name of the school?
Boston University.
We pulled a Boston University and pulled out something unexpected.
Yeah, honestly,
Yeah.
tell me about it. Boston, as you said, they did play a lot of wacky compositions. How did the University of Hartford respond to that? We saw stuff like the Ball Pharaoh Widowmaker for a lot of Kings Row. We saw a variety of stuff.
Yeah, most of the time we just stick to what we practice in scrims. Cause we just stick to what we practice. We didn't want to go super crazy and not know what the hell we're doing, because this is a tough school. We brought it to them. It's tough. We didn't want to just go something completely different and go crazy about it. We just minor changes to some of our comps, or in some of the previous comps we used in other seasons, or earlier. We did practice ball a few times in scrims, so we just pulled it out and it was working a little bit.
Okay.
And the ball stall there in
good, yeah.
Coliseo was pretty solid.
Let's
Talk a little bit more about that Jake Silly response. How were comms at that situation? So when you guys started to get pressured heavily, and they were playing these weird odd things, and you guys felt like you needed to make swaps and you were doing them incrementally. How were the comms in this situation? Do you guys change the way you guys talk to each other or about the enemy team?
Yeah, we just toned it down. They're all getting frustrated. I was like, we just toned down, just do some swaps and just try your best, just go for it, just because it's gonna happen a lot. Not everyone's gonna want to play the meta, because people want to everyone's playing meta. We should do something different, surprise them. Yeah, we should expect that, and that's what we started expecting, especially after the first map. They're gonna do some different things. We just just calm down, reset, just swap the comp, and just go back at it.
Yeah, and I think that you guys did a pretty good job of your first time going up against a J Silly team. Obviously they also still had like some small numbers advantage. Let's talk a little bit about something that I couldn't stop shouting out the entire time.
Everyone, say hello to our
Their
newest follower.
their Kiriko. How did it feel from your perspective? I didn't see you get killed by them a lot, but it definitely seemed like that Kiriko was going off on your backline and flankers, preventing you guys from starting any really clean fights for nearly like 50% of the games.
Speaking of, that Kiriko just
Hang on.
followed.
Hey, shout out. Get a great
Shout
time
out,
now.
shout out, urgency.
Hey,
Hey, I don't have a direct way to explain it. I'm gonna explain it through a visual.
mm-hmm.
Oh shit, he's right there. Oh, shit. Yeah,
It was a
she's
lot like that.
She was like surprising. Everywhere I go, I see his face.
Oh God. Yeah.
Nah, he was playing some crazy angles, bro. Like he just
They made
did
it
hella
work.
damage and just get out of there.
Yeah, they really did make that work. A lot of those first picks that came weren't always urgency final blows, but they were, one kunai to the head and then a Winston leap, and that's just enough just instant burst damage that you guys can't fully respond to it as you're trying to.
Yeah, and I so to kind of carry off of that, so this is the first time that you guys have lost. How does this feel for the University of Hartford for this season? I mean,
Don't don't know really, to be honest. I don't want to like explain it how I'm feeling. Feel I could have played a little better. I'm happy that we played really good against them. They're like one of the toughest teams we faced from past 2 seasons, including this one. I'm happy that we took a map off them, knowing that they're like good as they are, which is something. But else happen. We're not gonna go like 80-0. I wish, but yeah, that's just how it is.
absolutely, I love to hear that mindset out of you. It does look like we have one question before we get to the final ultimate one from Alex Dial in chat at twitch.tv/airculver. If you would like to help produce, send a question after
Hey,
we
yo,
release the
guys, I'm
interviews.
sorry that I'm in a closet right now. Look, I'm in the closet.
Yeah, but for you, we do have a question from Alex Dial. How does one become based? We were talking about your name a little bit earlier. Very anxious to see how what are your steps to becoming based?
Oh, sorry, the Moid.exe stopped working. What was that? Become based?
Yeah.
Uh,
Is it just
you,
genetic? Is there any
you,
way to become
you,
based if you weren't already?
you just you become based. That's all I gotta say, bro.
Just do it.
To do it, yeah.
And there it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Just do it.
All right.
Let's give it over to Eric Culver.
Based. Oh,
Final question. Chat, you know what this is. Peter knows what this is. Tamoya, you might know what this is.
I haven't watched the interviews.
All right. What comes next? Rest of the day, rest of the season, rest of your future. Talk to us.
Right. This week is in shambles. I have 2 assignments due in like 3 hours, so I'm getting on that right now. Yeah, your face is me right now. I'm speed running them. Don't worry, we'll get it done. And this Thursday got an exam, a hard one, but I feel half ready. Just gotta put some more time in, and we good. Rest of the season, rest of the week. I'm just trying to push towards spring break, bro. Shit, I need a break. I'm just exhausted. Classes got me fucked up, bro. I'm like doing a lot of other things outside of classes too. I'm in like a bunch of orgs and clubs and whatnot, including this one. And rest of the season, just get better. Just keep adapting, keep getting good in ways we need to get good at. Calming, playing new things, perfecting the way we play in each map, every map, like we did yesterday. Shout out Arlo, by the way. But yeah, just get better. Just go end the season off with a bang. Especially this is our manager's last season. Lucky y'all, we're gonna make her proud.
Certainly.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's one of the most verbose and actionable next steps. Considering that, this is the first time that you guys have lost, and still it seems like you're bouncing back incredibly well. Got a great head on your shoulders, and the University of Hartford team seems to have a great management system that you guys will be surely missing next year, but for now is holding you guys together incredibly well. I got to hear some of the comms at the end and beginning of those matches, so good up.
Hello there.
Sorry for the loss today, but you guys will bring him back next time as the University of Hartford continues to ever upwards.
I'm not even feeling mad about that loss too. It's like, yeah, it just happened.
They come.
Go run it back, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, sick. Thank you for joining us for this interview.
Yeah,
Once again, well played, Demoy.
Thank you, sir.
Best of luck. I'm sure I'll be talking to you very shortly.
already.
Yeah, we'll
Well,
probably have an interview again next week.
all right, I will see you guys whenever I see you guys.
All right.
So yeah,
Thank you.
we're gonna
Thanks for having
exit
me.
the show here as thank you everybody for watching at twitch.tv/Eric Culver. If you're re-watching right now at YouTube, remember to follow right now, go down red box, make it gray, bell right next to it, ring that shit, slap that thing right there, bada bing, bada boom. Thank you so much for watching and helping out the University of Hartford
GG's
as well as us put on
Rimuru.
this little
Sorry,
put on this little
Rimuru247 just chatted.
Hey, shout out to everybody that came over from BU. Thank you guys so much for checking out the cast. But that's gonna be it for us. We're gonna have games every single Tuesday, starting at either 7 p.m. EST or 8 p.m. EST if it does get rescheduled, depending on what our NACE opponents are going up against. But really sick so far. University of Hartford does take their first L, but it's ever upwards from here.
As it goes.
It happens. They'll bounce back.
Bye-bye.
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 Bye-bye now. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye now. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Bye.
When you do this, I can't tell when you actually leave, so I don't know when
Bye-bye.
I'm supposed to start talking about like lizard people and the whole like
Bye-bye.
Norfolk Southern thing. So like every single time we
Bye-bye.
talk about conspiracies afterwards, and I'm just wondering if like, are you up on the whole like Norfolk Southern, what happened in East Palestine shit? Is the stream off?
No.
What the fuck?
All right, bye
Why can't
guys.